Hey guys, my name is Anthony and in today's video I'm going to be bringing you my track guide here at Suzuka. So if you want to see the rest of the track guides that I've already done, make sure to click the playlist that's at the top right hand side of the screen. And if you want to continue seeing track guides in the future in both dry conditions and wet conditions, because I just uploaded my Australian wet condition track guide today, then make sure to click the big red button down below and subscribe to the channel, and also like this video as well because it lets me know that you guys want to see more of these. So coming into the actual track guide now, we're just in front of the 100 meter board coming into the final chicane. The 100 meter board is where you brake. You want to be in 8th gear, brake in a straight line down into 3rd gear for this right hander, right over the curb, then right over this curb as well in 3rd gear, and then just try and put the power down as soon as you can here, because in F1 2019 there was the infamous bump that was on this game, which means you had to be very careful. But on this game you don't have to be as careful because they've taken the bump out. Well, you see that there, you don't want to do what I just did there, but open up DRS and then you're starting up the lap. So you want to be in 8th gear coming into this first corner, and this first corner is very fast, and you could definitely mess it up if you're not careful. So as soon as you come up to this grey patch in 8th gear, you're still flat out at this point. You want to start turning in towards the curb there on the inside, in the inside of the track there, and then as soon as you get about halfway around this curb on the right hand side of the track, that's when you want to start braking. You want to brake down slowly, because this is one of those long flowing corners. Brake down slowly, come out wide, and then back in on the inside here. You want to be in 4th gear coming into this, or if you need to rotate the car even more, you can go into 3rd gear. Put the power down as soon as you can, go wide on the curb there. Then you want to be in 6th gear coming into here, throw the car in, then downshift into 5th gear, again throw the car in, and then again you want to turn right over this curb in 5th gear, and then hug this curb here, downshift into 4th gear, and then back up into 5th gear straight away. And then as soon as you pass that white patch, let me rewind so that I can show you guys. As soon as you pass this white patch here, that's when you start turning into the next corner. You want to be flat out in 6th gear around here. Sometimes you can lose the car depending on your setup, but usually with the race setup you wouldn't lose your car here. And then coming into 8th gear, coming into this tight right hander here, well this quick right hander I should say, at the 50 meter board, shift down into 7th and literally just throw the car into this curb here, and then use the downforce of the car, stay on the outside of the track. Then as soon as you pass the end of that curb there, downshift straight into 3rd gear, right over this curb, come out wide a little bit, short shift to get the traction, and off you go. And then coming up into this corner now, you want to be in 6th or 7th gear, and then as soon as this curb ends, brake in a straight line down into 2nd, and then as you're about to turn in towards this corner, you want to turn in a little bit earlier than you would think, down into 1st, and then short shift up to 3rd gear to really get that traction coming out of the corner. And then we've got a flat out right hander here. And then coming into these next couple of corners now, you want to be in 8th gear at the 50 meter board, downshift into 5th gear or 6th gear depending on your setup, right over this curb here. As soon as you get about halfway, start downshifting into 4th gear, try and hug this curb as much as you can, and then try and get the power down as soon as you can, short shift into 5th if needed. And then you've pretty much got this long straight coming up to 130R, which is completely flat out in these F1 2020 cars, flat out. And then coming back to the final chicane, as I said before, at the 100 meter board, brake in a complete straight line, 100% on the brakes, down into 3rd gear, right over this curb in 3rd, right over this the curb in 3rd again, and then just try to get the power down. And then as you're coming towards the end of the track, in qualifying you want to hug the right hand side of the track so that you can get the minimal amount of distance to the line. However, in the race it doesn't really matter if you do that or not. But in qualifying, hug the right hand side, open up DRS, and boom, that is a lap of Suzuka. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to showcase you guys the lap that's in the title of this video, and then we'll move into the setup portion of this track guide. So I'll see you guys at the setup. Hey guys, so here we are now at the setup portion of the track guide, so moving straight into it. For the arrows, we've got 4 6 wings. You can play around with those and see what works for you. You know, 5 7 could work. You will lose a little bit of straight line speed in the 3rd sector. However, for the 1st sector, you will be a little bit quicker. I just go with 4 6 because I think that's a good balance in between the 1st and 3rd sector. For the transmission, again, you can play around with these, but I've gone with 50 and 60. For the suspension geometry, you can again toy around with these. However, you want to keep in mind that you want to have a high camber and a low toe in these F1 2020 cars. For the suspension, we've gone with 3.5 suspension. You know, you're definitely going to be riding over a lot of curbs in this track, so you still want to have that soft suspension as usual, but you also want it to be a little bit firmer so that you can keep the car stable as well. 6.9 with the anti-roll bar. This is just to, you know, have the car be really responsive but also have that straight line speed as well. And then for the ride height, 2.4. You want it to be a little bit higher because you're going to be going over a lot more curbs on this track. It's a little bit more aggressive in terms of how much you use the curbs. And then for the brakes, it's subjective. I use the T3PA pedals, the plastic ones, and I use 95 and 53. I would highly recommend going up to 100 if you can't get the car slowed down in time. In fact, I encourage it. I'm still toying around with this. I think I am going to move up to 100 myself, to be honest with you, just to get that extra brake pressure in some of the heavier braking zones, but this is what I'm rocking for now. And then for the tyres, I've gone with 21.8 and 19.9 for the rear tyres. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you want to see more track guides similar to this, then make sure to hit the big red button below the video and subscribe to the channel, and also hit the like button because it lets me know that you guys want to see more of these videos. So I'll see you guys in the next one.